Jack Dorsey is leaving Twitter as CEO. It may just be the biggest tech news of 2021. Why did he leave? What does this mean for Twitter and its users? And what's next? In his letter of resignation, Jack Dorsey said Twitter was ready to move on from its founders. Being founder-led was severely limiting and a single point of failure. So, does he think founders shouldn't stay as leaders? Well, Dorsey founded and still leads the digital payments company Square, so maybe there's something else to it. The real reason for Dorsey's departure is thought to be Paul Singer and his hedge fund Elliott Management. The American activist investor and Twitter stakeholder has been pushing to remove Dorsey since 2020, claiming he was hindering innovation. The truth is, for most of Dorsey's time as CEO, Twitter has been unprofitable. Still, Dorsey stepped up with new features like Fleets, which was very similar to Instagram stories, but they were widely mocked and quickly thrown in the bin. Now there are Spaces, group audio chats similar to Clubhouse, but it hasn't set the world alight either. Seems like when it comes to innovation, there's a lot of room for improvement at Twitter. So what's next for Twitter? Well, before we look at that, let's briefly look at the man who's defined Twitter so far. Jack Dorsey co-founded Twitter in 2006 and posted the world's first tweet ever. He is one of the most unconventional leaders in business. He's insisted in interviews that he's still punk, referring to his time when he donned blue hair, a tattoo and piercing. Now, Dorsey is known for his unusual lifestyle featuring daily fasting and ice baths. He had to step down as Twitter CEO once before, in 2008. According to the book Hatching Twitter by Nick Bilton, Jack Dorsey had to step down back then because he spent too much time doing yoga and attending fashion design classes. The last time Dorsey left Twitter, he built up the digital payment company Square, now worth $82 billion US. This time, Dorsey might go for cryptocurrency. If I were not at Square or Twitter, I'd be working on Bitcoin, Dorsey said at the conference Bitcoin 21 back in June. Twitter and Square were some of the first mainstream platforms to accept Bitcoin payment under Dorsey's reign. And just days after leaving Twitter, Dorsey decided Square would now go under the new corporate name of Block. Blockchain, see where the journey might be going here. So, who's next for Twitter? That's Parag Agrawal. The longtime CEO will be replacing Dorsey as CEO. Agrawal was born and raised in India. He has a PhD in computer science from Stanford and he's known as a safe pair of hands to the stakeholders. Agrawal has made one thing clear: Twitter will move a lot faster. After taking the reins, he will get down immediately to reorganizing the company. Agrawal has to hit ambitious targets, namely to increase Twitter's daily average users by 50% and double its revenue. For users, this might mean new services like improved direct messaging. Agrawal called direct messages a key product bet, referring to Twitter's just announced acquisition of the messaging app Quill. It also might mean less hate speech. When asked about free speech in an MIT interview, Agrawal said, "Our role is to serve a healthy public conversation, focus less on thinking about free speech." With Parag Agrawal speeding things up at Twitter and Jack Dorsey developing new ideas for crypto, there might be interesting times ahead for users. What do you expect from those changes? Let us know. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.